Well, we're nearing the end, my friends. Today, it's episode 4 out of 5 for our little Draculathon miniseries, and the subject of today's review is Werner Herzog's 1979 remake of the original Nosferatu.
I am Dracula.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Dance off, bro! Me and you!
Now, much like the 1931 Universal Studios Dracula, which was filmed twice in both an English version and a Spanish version, Werner Herzog's Nosferatu was also filmed in two different languages, one in German called Nosferatu Phantom der Nacht, and one in English called Nosferatu the Vampire. Although, unlike the 1931 Dracula, which used a different cast for each version, Nosferatu 1979 used the same actors for both. They just had to film all of their scenes twice, once in each language. I will admit my shortcomings here and say that I have only ever seen the English version, although from what I hear the two versions are pretty much identical because it's the same actors and dialogue and everything, just in a different language. So whichever version you want to watch, it probably doesn't matter a whole lot. One thing about this movie that you have to understand is that it is less of an adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel and more of a remake of F.W. Murnau's 1922 film. There are some obvious callbacks to the 1922 movie, such as the shadows on the walls, the Count's appearance, the ship drifting abandoned into the harbor, and especially the entire plotline surrounding the plague that Dracula brings with him, which is not in the novel at all. However, Werner Herzog is not the kind of director to just make a cheap, shot-for-shot remake of a classic movie. He's too much of a master filmmaker himself for that. He is retelling a classic tale, but he's telling his own story as well. Nosferatu the Vampire is a very melancholy and pessimistic film. It is a slow burn that leads you on very gradually and methodically, while showing you some absolutely stunning visuals along the way. Not to mention the dark, atmospheric, and haunting score. It's almost as if the film itself takes on Dracula's own mood here, which is that he's kinda just weary from his centuries of existence. This is an interesting take on the character, as it would probably make sense for a creature to feel so depressed after living so much longer than what he naturally should have. And then you have this movie's Van Helsing, which is a wildly different version of that character than what we usually see in other versions of Dracula. Rather than being the kooky one who immediately recognizes Count Dracula as a vampire, he's actually a scientific skeptic in this movie, and only realizes once it's too late what's really going on. And I think this could be one interpretation of the movie. You've got this ancient thing which mankind in his rationality and frail mortality cannot understand, and science, the crowning achievement of man's rationality, as powerful of a tool as it is powerless against it. Death and eternity are things that rigid science cannot account for or prevent. So it's not a particularly exciting film, but I don't think that's what Herzog was going for anyway. It's a film that you just kinda have to let yourself melt into and let it take its time. I will say that Nosferatu the Vampire is a total mood to watch, for sure, but I would also say that it did a great job with it, for being what it is. The cinematography is beautiful, Klaus Kinski is excellent as Dracula, and the film ends on a rather foreboding note that, if you've allowed yourself to get pulled in by its spell, can leave you with a haunting feeling. Well, that's going to do it for today. Only one more movie in Draculathon to go. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already so you don't miss out on it, and also like this video while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.